Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
You know, I love when we come together from the floor. I love it because we can sing and hear each other. Sometimes I'm kind of intimidated by a 30-foot ceiling. But when we're down off the pulpit, we can look at each other, we can see each other. And we use the blue prayer book in the pew rack in front of you, which is called Mishkan Tefillah, which is the Tabernacle of Prayer. Our opening song tonight is a very famous set of words. It's the beginning of Psalm 133, Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad, which is, behold how good it is and pleasant when we dwell together in unity. And there's a tune that's kind of a newer tune that we've been teaching the last year. For Hine ma tov, it goes like this. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Page 10. Hine, my fault. Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Try that again. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Here's that middle part. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Sing with me. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Last time. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Mr. Menaka, will you please bring your family up to the pulpit for Candles and Kiddush? Rabbi Gordon will be following you there. It's our custom. No, don't put it on the ground, but pick it up. There you go. And it's our custom to rise as you are able for the lighting of Candles and Kiddush for Shabbat, starting on page 2 and 3 of your prayer book, going from right to left.
As these Shabbat candles give light, come closer. That's not what we practiced. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlig ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Please turn the page for Kiddush and remain standing.
Baruch atah Adonai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kichanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'avahu v'ratzon hinchilanu, zikron l'ma'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehila, le'mikraye kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'harta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ava uvratzon, hinchotanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat.
Please be seated, everyone. We're on page 6 in the middle of the page, and we read responsively about the hope for the community we'd like to be. Please have a seat. Page 6 in the middle. There you go. Everybody gets their juice, right? Cool. Lights are lit. It's Shabbat. Fantastic. Great English reading. Excellent. There you go. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. Together? May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut up pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Please turn the page, and on page 8, we're going to read together. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew,
no semantics, and no services. But I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life.
So we're going to turn ahead to the first of the readings, the Psalms for Kabbalat Shabbat. In tradition, we're told that from Psalms 95 to 99, we do some of those Psalms to welcome Shabbat. Kabbalat means to receive or to welcome. And this is a beautiful tune. I like this because if you don't know Hebrew at all, there's a good la-la part that you can la-la along. It goes like this. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 lechuleranana lechuleranana ladonai nari alatzur yeshenu lekad mafana betodah bizmirot nari alo nari lechuleranana ladonai. Beginning. Nari alatzur yeshenu lekad mafana betodah. Bizmirot naria lo la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 la. Please turn ahead to page 20, and on 20 and 21, you'll find the most famous of all Shabbat songs. It was written fairly recently, only 500 years ago, and it made the charts back then. And Lecha Dodi welcomes the Shabbat as a bride. And we sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, echoing God's promise to be with us in this sacred moment. In the last verse, verse 9, we actually, in the last line, when we say, Bo'i kala, may the bride come in, maybe the bride's going to come over by Patty over there, or maybe the bride's going to come over here through the parking lot, we don't know. But all I know is in the last verse, we'll rise and face the rear, and we will bow when we get to that last line. Verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and it goes like this. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, this is the easy part. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 lechadodi lechadodi likrakala yalla 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 bnei Shabbat nikabela lechadodi likrakala yalla 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 bnei Shabbat nikabela shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad ishmiyanu evel hamyuchad Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila, lechadodi likrakala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Page 20. Lechadodi likrakala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor ha'beracha merosh mikedem nisucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava chila lechadodi likrakala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lechadodi likrakala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat. Verse 5. Hitoreri, ki ba'orech u'miori, uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai alayet nigla, lechadodi likrakala. Please rise and face the rear. Shabbat nikabela, lechadodi likrakala. Verse 9. Shabbat nikabela, boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha u'betzola, toch emunei am segula. Better the left, boi, then the right. Boicha, please sit down. Lechadodi likrakala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lechadodi likrakala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. If you turn the page, you will find Psalm 92, which is the psalm for the Sabbath day. We're going to read in English at the bottom to the indent. At the indent, we go up to the Hebrew indent, a beautiful tune that's more than 140 years old, written by a wonderful man named Louis Lewandowski, who actually wrote so much of the music of the early Reform movement in an enjoyable, pleasant, very major key about the date palm that the righteous will flourish like a date palm in Lebanon. But we're going to read the English first. A song for Shabbat.
It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this.
Tzadik atamar hifra, ge'erez parvanon yizkeh, shetuli bevet Adonai, b'chatzrot Sheni Yashar Adonai Tzuri Velo And we're going to end this section with the singing Shalom Aleichem. How many of you grew up singing Shalom Aleichem at shul? Anybody here besides me? Then let's do the one you know. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Call out a page number, please.
24.
Shalom Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please turn the page and rise as you are able for the Chatzi Kaddish that ends this section before the Baruch Hu, the call to worship.
Yitgadal ve'yitkadash merabah.
Amen.
V'yalamad ivrachirutei v'yamelich b'chutei v'chayechor v'mechon v'chayed chol Beit Yisrael.
Magala bagala uvizman
kavim eru.
Amen. Yesh me'avam mevorach le'olam olam me'amaya Yitbarach
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kureshah
B'richu
Le'elam mikom b'chata v'shirata
Tush b'chata v'nechemata Damiran be'olma
We continue with Baruch Hu on page 28. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
Turn the page. We're on page 30. Sing the words, roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night.
Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Page 33. We join together wisdom and wonder,
passion and instruction,
story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam.
Please be seated. We're on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We join together in the English in the middle of that page.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart,
with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem, Emet. Page 39. Especially after the events of Sunday, the passage in the middle of the page is particularly poignant. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let's continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace.
Shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
This is the very first Mi Chamocha Debbie Friedman ever wrote. It goes like this. Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nehedar B'Kodesh, Nora Tehilo, Oseh Peleh. Just this side. Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai. kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilo. Oh, say Peleh, oh, say Peleh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nehedar. Everybody from the beginning. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh.
Malchutecha ra'u v'anecha bokayim lifnei Moshe Miriam ze'elianu v'yamru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'amar kifad Adonai et Yaakov ugelo mi'er chazak mimenu baruch ata Adonai kal Yisrael.
On page 43 and 42, there's a wonderful musician, Jewish musician by the name of Noah Aronson, who composed an entire album called The Left Side of the Page. And it takes texts that are on the left side of the page, and he sent music to them. So we're going to sing a song that I've been teaching for a couple of months on and off here and there, starting with the first two lines of English at the top of page 43, and continuing with the first line and change on page 42.
One, two.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love. Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Let's do that again. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love.
Left side of the page.
And understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Let there be love and understanding among us.
Hashkivenu,
Friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Last time. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Baruch atah
Adonai,
Adonai,
Borei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael, Ve'al Yerushalayim.
Page 44, you're going to sing a song about Shabbat, led by Evan.
Pick a good key. We'll sing along. There you go.
V'shamru
B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Ledorotam berit olam
V'shamru B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Ledorotam berit olam Beni uvein, B'nai Yisrael, Oti leolam, Oti leolam, Vishamru, B'nai Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat. Lasot et ha-Shabbat, Ledoratam berit olam. Kisheshet yamim, Asa Adonai, et ha-Shamayim, ve'et ha'aretz, Vishamru, V'nei Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat. Lasot et ha-Shabbat, Ledoratam berit olam. Uvayom hashviyi, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Vishamru, V'nei Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat, Lasot et ha-Shabbat, Ledoratam berit olam.
Often we have a youth group person here to present you with the first gift of the day. I don't know how many gifts he's gotten already, but we want to make sure he has enough thank you notes to write. This is our shirt for PARTY, which stands for Pittsburgh Area Reformed Temple Youth. Let's model it. Whoa. He's looking sharp. And then in case that's too subtle, there's a really big temple sign, I think, on the back there. So you'll always know, and you get one too when it's your turn, right? And what this is not just to have a remembrance of the youth group, but to be an entree, to be an entrance into youth group, which is so many wonderful things, not only for themselves, but for our community in social justice and in Jewish learning and just having so much fun. So we want you to take this. There you go.
Thank you.
We want you to take your prayer book, and we'll see you helping to lead the service tomorrow. Everybody say Yesher Koach to him.
One of the things that I was reminded of recently, because I was teaching a child, and so of course that's what reminds me of things normally, is that there are 3 different types of prayers. One prayer is the wow prayer. And that came up because on Sunday morning there was thunder and lightning, and so I was sitting with a kid and... Do you remember the fact that there was thunder, which is weird to have thunder and lightning in November, but that's beside the point. Really, it was a wow moment. Another type of prayer is help, right? That's the kind of prayer that we offer, it's really pleading with ourselves or with God or with the community for things that we need. And then the third type is, can anyone guess what the third type might be? Nope. Okay. Thanks.
For not answering or what?
Did you get it? You didn't say it loud enough, though. Okay, so the third type of prayer is thanks. And those are prayers of gratitude, often for things that we have that we weren't expecting, or things that that we just sometimes take for granted, but that we have every day. And the Amidah, this section that we're about to come to, really focuses on the wow and thanks, especially on Shabbat. This idea that we have certain things in our lives, in our world, whether it's our ancestors that led to us today, or the power of God, which is manifest in the changing of the seasons, which we sure are experiencing quite a bit this week. Even God's holiness, or the blessing of Shabbat, those are all things that sometimes we just want to say wow, and sometimes we say thanks for. And so as we turn to the Amidah, which is on page 46, I invite you to rise and join together in these prayers of wow and thanks.
Adonai, sifatai tifta, ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, sifatai tifta, ufi agi tehilatecha. O God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. O God, open tehilatecha, Adonai, sifatai tifta, ufi aki tehilatecha.
Turn the page.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי כל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, לחיי הכל.
Turn the page.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. And we continue on page 55. We join together. May these hours
of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod.
Page 59, a blessing of gratitude. We join together. When we behold your heavens,
the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us? You made us little less than the divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimacha ulachana el hodot.
Finally, a prayer for peace, one of the few help prayers that we have on Shabbat.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom rav Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amecha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Take a few moments now to offer the prayers of our own hearts, the prayers of wow, prayers of help, and the prayers of thanks. We offer those prayers silently.
May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. 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 Descend on us, and the world will say Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevil. Amen. Please join. Amen. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevil. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Amen. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevil. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen.
cold winter's night, even when it's not winter, we think of those who may not even be able to be here with us, who can't enjoy the warmth of connection, the touching of spirits within and with our neighbors. We think of those who are in hospitals right now and clearly terrified about what's going to happen to them, wearing clothes not their own, that open the wrong way, that people can walk in anytime they want and interrupt them, their thoughts, their sleep. And I think of people in nursing homes, many of whom have a long weekend without one visitor, alone with their thoughts, lessened caregiving. And then there are those who walk the earth with a stone in the heart or face the daily battle of sobriety. All of them are in our hearts right now, and we never miss an opportunity to sing a mishaberach on their behalf. In a moment, I'll be looking at your part of the congregation. And if there's somebody for whom you wish healing, you might choose to say the name out loud and add it into the collective heart tonight of our congregation. You might choose to whisper it softly to yourself. You might simply choose to hold it there. And when we sing the mishaberach, you might choose to sing along, or you might choose on 253 to simply respond to Amen. Or you might choose to close your eyes and let the whole prayer wash over you for healing. As I look at your part of the congregation, I invite you to say the name of somebody for whom you wish healing, and then we'll sing our healing song. And don't raise your hand, just call it out.
Joe Jarmel, Chava Batili, Lee Vega,
Chaim Ben Stella, Rock 253. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Well, I sometimes am made very quiet by the blessing for healing, but other times I'm just bursting with joy. And when Jamie and Paul are getting married, I'm bursting with joy. So come on up here and we'll do a blessing on your behalf, on your upcoming wedding. It's a week from Shabbat, right? It's a week Saturday. That is terrific. Stand here, hold hands like you like each other, like I told you to do. There you go.
Yes, you'll have to remind me.
I have to remind you. There, you can hold each other too, just a little closer to me, okay? Eloheinu v'Eloheinu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our fathers, God of our mothers, Ruach Ahava, Makora Shalom, the spirit of love, the source of peace. Jamie and Paul stand here with dazzling smiles, with eyes as bright as the heavens, not only in their incredible moment of joy, but looking forward to the path that they and only they can create. A path that will set them on adventures they can't even imagine right now. A path that may actually have obstacles, but they will help each other over and high five when they accomplish all of their goals and meet all those obstacles. We hope and pray that they always stay as they are at this moment, arm in arm, heart in heart, love in love. May they grow old together. May they take joy in every wrinkle and gray hair. And may, if it is their choice, bring children into the world that take away their sleep and drive them just a little bit meshuggah. May they know how dear they are to their family. May they know how dear they are to their community. May they know this moment and every moment leading to the wedding, how much they're loved and how much they're blessed. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, may God cause God's light to shine on you, be gracious to you. Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may God lift up God's presence to you and grant you wholeness and fulfillment and joy and smiles, resolve and love, and most of all, peace. As together we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lahazman hazeh. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, ruler of all, who has caused us to live, sustained us, and allowed us to reach this very, very happy time in your lives, and by extension, all of ours who celebrate with you. Let's say Yesher Koach. Say Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Sometime I will show Jamie pictures of her sitting on the ledge of a cave in northern Israel, cross-legged, looking out into the world. Tonight, for Parshat Chayei Sarah, my remarks are in memory of Nate Josephson. Nate Josephson was a true American hero. He died at 99 2 days ago. He fought in World War II and was in the Battle of the Bulge, that terrible winter in Europe with the Nazi counterattack, where he was separated from his troops, alone in the snow and terrified, yet he fought his way out. He fought his way back to his unit and acted with such heroism that simply takes my breath away. It is appropriate to say this in honor of Nate. Today, tonight, tomorrow is a life and death parsha. Both Sarah and Abraham die. Sarah at the beginning of the parsha and Abraham at the end. And the text says that Abraham dies whole, at a good ripe age, old and contented, and he was gathered to his kin. Sarah just dies. Sarah's lifetime, the span of Sarah's life, came to 127. She died at Kiryat Arba. And the contrast is telling. Abraham, who has fought wars, conquered doubts, journeyed fearlessly to find his spiritual destiny, passed off Sarah as his sister not once but twice, exiled his son Ishmael, literally came to a knife's breadth of killing his son Isaac, his legacy. He remarries after Sarah dies and sires 6 more sons. He is the one who, breathing his last breath, dies whole and content. Sarah, who had to fight to retain her place in the house after her handmaid gave birth to Ishmael, who gives birth at age 90. And you think Abraham getting circumcised as a man was difficult. Well, Sarah just dies. No preamble, no epitaph, no counting, nothing but counting of her years. Oh, our rabbinic tradition is very generous towards her. It will say that Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah, means that she truly lived instead of simply dying. But the problem remains, did she die whole? Did she die content? The rabbis beg to differ. The Midrash teaches that Sarah did not know that Abraham almost killed her only son. Abraham's servants traveled back to tell her what had occurred on Mount Moriah, and she died on the spot from shock at hearing before she heard that Isaac had been spared. She died from shock and sadness and from anger. She did not die whole. She was not content. How could she be? Abraham had taken her son like a thief in the night and made to offer him up to God without so much as a by your leave, much less getting her consent. How could she be content? Isaac, son of her old age, went off that morning to die at Abraham's hand. 3 days later, it was Sarah who died, collapsing on the spot. I would like to say that the 26 who died at their Baptist church in Texas died whole and content, but that would be a lie, wouldn't it? None of them had death on their minds when they went off to pray that morning. None of them had an inkling that anyone they left behind would never see them again. None of them had the faintest idea they would never embrace family or friends again. There is a hole in our hearts tonight, a hole that only grows with each mass shooting. We try to absorb the hurt of it, the shock of it, the impossibility of it all. And after a while, we just become numb. After all, what is it this week? Sandy Hook Elementary or Columbine High? Las Vegas or Virginia Tech? The Pulse nightclub or San Bernardino? Who did it? It was Muslims. No. It was criminals. No. It was the mentally ill. Leaving aside the van attack in New York City, we have abundant empirical evidence that the easiest way to kill many people in the shortest time is via high-powered automatic rifle. And still, with that knowledge, the NRA opposes universal background checks, which most of their own members support. They oppose regulating kits that turn semi-automatic rifles into full-blown machine guns. And they say it's a mental health problem or a terrorist threat, even though the research reported in the New York Times this week indicates the biggest indicator of potential mass shootings is the simple proliferation of guns. I've fired a rifle, a World War II M1, one time. It was 1978 in Israel. I volunteered for the Mishmar Ezachi, the civil guard. I figured if I offered to patrol Jerusalem streets at night, some Israeli could stay home after already having fulfilled army service and reserve duty. So that one day, even though I was in Kita Aleph, the lowest Hebrew class, all that meant is I could pray very fast without understanding 5 words, but I could do it very fast. They took us out to Herodian Army Base, and they gave us a World War II M1 with a wooden stock and a 15-bullet clip that loaded underneath. They showed us how to chamber each round, or one round, and then each bullet would go up in the cartridge. They explained all this in Hebrew, and since it wasn't in the form of a Hebrew prayer, I did not understand what in the world he was talking about. The sergeant understood that I didn't understand. And he looked at me and said, "Ata," which means you. And I swung my rifle around, pointing it at him. He hit the ground and cursed me in Arabic and Chinese, because Hebrew is a holy language that you're not supposed to really curse in. And he pulled me aside and showed me in sign language, in simple Hebrew, what the chelkei haneshek were, the various parts of the rifle. And after we got me loaded up, they lined us all up with targets about 40 feet away. And they said, take 4 shots standing, 4 prone on the ground, and the rest any way you want. Well, nothing in my life, no carnival, no amusement park had ever prepared me for the kick of a rifle into my shoulder. Like this. You're smiling, Mike. 15 bullets. I hit my target twice. I hit the target of the guy to the right of me 3 times. And they were very upset because they could not figure out how the guy to the right of me hit his target 18 times with only 15 bullets in the clip. And when I saw they were discussing this in heated Hebrew, I simply quietly walked to the bus. I didn't want any part of the discussion. I would go and walk either from 10 till 3 in the morning or from 1 to 5 in the morning, and those nights Barbara did not sleep, and it was not because she was afraid of terrorists. What was he going to do to somebody or himself with that rifle? That's what she was concerned about. And every time I walked in, dragged myself in after my shift, she was so happy. Was so happy that I had not hurt myself or another person with a gun, and that was with each bullet having to be fired separately. When we look at the violence of this last week, all the bullets that were fired, the methodical way that people were shot in their pews in the Baptist church. How do we reconcile that to the calm with which Abraham dies, when it's more like the shocking one of Sarah? And we ask, which way will we die? Are we safe? Should we simply barricade ourselves into our homes and offices or schools and buy guns for ourselves the way some would have us do? Well, East End seems to be safe for us. Our police, our leaders, and others are taking great care to make sure we are. Brad Orsini is an ex-FBI agent who's employed full-time with the Jewish community to do threat assessment and help us to come up with response plans to save lives. Just this week in our staff meeting, we went over our plan to deal if, God forbid, an active shooter should appear within these walls. And it comes down to 3 words that I thought I would never have to hear in a sacred place like a synagogue: run, hide, fight. It is surreal that we have to think of this in our beloved, safe, contented Squirrel Hill. That said, attacks can occur. Some of you have long memories. You remember Richard Baumhammer's in South Hills when he shot up the Bethel preschool when they were preschoolers on site. You remember the neo-Nazi right-wing fanatics who slaughtered 3 police officers in Highland Park in their warped hatred, some of which was directed at us in the Jewish community. But it's not just us. Just last month, one neighborhood from here in Regent Square, a black noose was placed on the tree of a home owned by an interracial couple. We are not only concerned with anti-Semitic attacks. We stand with the African American community against the hatred that would see members of their community lynched like tens of thousands were over the last 150 years. The solution is for us to stand together against all threats. Threats against Jews and threats against blacks. Threats against Asians and threats against Latinos. Threats against LGBTQ individuals and couples. So I hope and pray that when, and I say sadly when, the next mass shooting occurs, it won't affect our community. I have pledged that if it should affect any other community in Pittsburgh, that I, that you, that we will not cower in fear, but go to them and offer them comfort, support, and solidarity. A very famous Mishnah, that's a rabbinic teaching from the early period between 200 BCE and 200 CE, says if you are walking into your city and you see a fire in your neighborhood, you are not allowed to pray, "Oh God, may it not be my house." That's a bracha levatala, a null or worthless prayer. We only pray that the fire hurts no one. So here's my prayer tonight, that we limit guns which kill innocents, that we find the resources to treat those mentally ill people who might turn violent, that we not cower in fear in the face of the violence of our society, but organize to fight it, and that we stand with each other in case any Jews are attacked, that we stand with each other in case anyone in our community, of any community, is attacked. The story is told and it's well known. I hope you enjoy it if you know it, and if you don't, I hope you appreciate it. Of the community that lived on an island, and they had to take a ferry boat to go to the mainland to work every day. And a man found a great deal on a little shack, and he bought a house on that island. And the very first day, they all loaded into the ferry. And as they were going over, the man was poling that ferry to the mainland so they could all go to work. And the man reached into his case, and he pulled out a hand drill. Some of you actually know what a hand drill is. It goes like this, 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 and this. And he fit a drill, and he put in a large drill bit, and he started drilling under his seat. And everybody in the boat said, "You can't do that." And he looked at them and said, "Why? It's my seat. We all float, or we all perish. May we, whenever our time is up in this world, die contented like Abraham, not in shock like Sarah. May we take care of each other so no one has to die in that kind of pain and shock. May we remember that we are all in the same boat. Amen. This is the week that we commemorate Kristallnacht as well, 1938, the Night of Broken Glass. And there's a song that was written by a marvelous, marvelous poet in Israel. Her name was Hannah Senesh. And she wrote a song called Halicha LeKesaria, on the walkway to Caesarea. You can find it in your book on whatever page Cantor Berman tells you. The way we sing it here is we sing it in Hebrew the first time, and then we sing it in English.
Page 349.
I'll give you a moment to get there. And since we're all in the same boat, I wanted to do a song not only that evoked Kristallnacht and the Holocaust, but of water as well. This poem is memorized by Israeli school children to this very day. Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer leolam, ha'ol ve'hayam, rish rush shel ha'mayim, be'rak ha'shamayim, tfilat ha'adam, ha'ol ve'hayam, rish rush shel ha'mayim, be'rak ha'shamayim, tfilat God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. Before the ending of our service and our oneg, a couple things. First of all, Mazel Tov to Jamie and Paul. Mazel Tov to Evan. We're going to see you tomorrow here at 10:30. If you're coming here before, 8:30 in the morning is our Torah study. 9:15 is our informal minyan in the Barnett Chapel upstairs. Sunday is our regular Next Door, which means next generation Jewish learning piece for all of our kids. There's a Hartman Israel seminar that I teach and a Bereshit seminar that Cantor Berman teaches as well. On Monday, there's the Watts cooking class featuring Hanita Kosofsky teaching us to bake her delicious challah. I've had it. It's delicious challah. It's at 6:30. There's a $10 fee. It can be paid at the class. Reserve your spot by emailing Carolyn Schwartz. That's the wife of that guy right there, Frank Schwartz right there. Anyone over 16 is welcome. Next Friday services, we have a multiplicity of things going on. There's Tot Shabbat and snacks at 5 o'clock and 5:30. And the evening service is at 7 o'clock. It's a family service. We'll have our visual tefillah with pictures and words that we put up on our screens, and birthday blessings for anybody who has a November birthday. After that, there'll be a special oneg celebrating the 2-year project of our library committee that has made our upstairs Falk Library into a functional library. So we'll have oneg up there, and I hope that you will enjoy that opportunity as well.
And it will be followed by, or there will also be young adult after hours, so anyone between the ages of 21 and 40 something
21
is welcome to join us in the chapel, I believe, for that.
Chapel, Colonel Mustard, and the knife, right? I'm sorry. After Hours is the name of the program. We hope that if you know people who are of that demographic who want to come and do something after services and be together, that they will go at that time. The following day, there's a very special minyan that Liz Miller is going to read Torah for the first time on her own, not part of her bat mitzvah class. The afternoon of a week from tomorrow is going to be our first of Shabbat meditation. Rhonda Rosen creates amazing mystical texts for contemplation and mystical thought. And just two things in the community. Tomorrow night is the 100th anniversary gala for Bet Shalom, and we applaud our friends in the community for their marvelous milestone. A week from Sunday, there is a husband and wife group from Israel called Yonina, and they are doing a public concert. And I am also singing with Rabbi Wasserman and Rob Menace in a little 10, 15-minute pre-concert at that. For that, you can see the publicity for it up on the bulletin board by the Krieger entrance. And I think that's it. Is it? So if you turn to page 282 in your book, not that book, but 282 in her book, in the middle of the page, you'll find Aleinu, our concluding set of prayers. After our prayers are done, of course, we'll invite you to join us in the Falk Auditorium for Oneg Shabbat. And you can say Mazel, Mazel, Mazel Tov to Jamie and to Paul and to Evan. Please rise as you are able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא,
Please be seated, everyone.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו,
It's our custom as we remember those who died at the season in years past or more recently, that if you are here to say Kaddish for that person and we say the name of that person, we'll ask you to rise in your place so that we know that you are a mourner. At the very end, I will ask that all of us rise with all of our mourners so that no mourner ever needs to stand alone. This week we especially remember the legacies and lives of William E. Alexander, Erna K. Bauer, and Sadie Belkoff, Harriet Gusky Bennett, George Berman, and Joseph Bernstein, Samuel Nathan Cohen and Irma Devlin, Charles Dunn and Beatrice Fishman, Louis Frankel, Simon Geller and Fanny Goldberg, Robert P. Goldstein and Linda Goldston, Jack Greenberg and Meyer Greenberg, Benjamin Halpern and Anna Lewinter Hirsch, Bert Hoffman, Zelma Hoffman, and Edna Lampert Jones, Hanny Urians Meyer and Sarah Kaufman, Harry Keene, Saul Kopelson and Mike Lebov, Sarah Lightman, Dora Leon and Morris Leon, Stephen Leon and Harry Mann, Norman Marcus and Samuel Mervis, Marvin J. Matoski, Evelyn C. Miller, Leon Mordeau and Ron Moritz, Olga Nicholsberger, Norma M. Perlmutter, Sarah Goldstein Puston, Sophie Schwartz, Zoltan Smoke and Marita Tolentino, William Unger, Earl Weinstein, Marion Ruth Weisband, and Florence B. Wolfe. And now we remember those whose recent deaths we still mourn: Nate Josephson, John Anderson, Jerry Roth, Ellen Solomon, and Grace Moritz. We also remember those who died tragically in Sutherland Spring, Texas, those who died tragically in all of the natural events of our past month. And we rise with our mourners as we turn to page
294.
294 for Kaddish. We respond to those who say Kaddish. Yid Gadal, v'yikadash, shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yomad divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. V'chai echona v'yom echona v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalav v'zman kari v'yimru. Amen.
Yehi shemei Rabbah mavarach le'olam le'amei amaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha.
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechmata. Damiran bi'alma v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
May the source of peace in the high heavens cause peace to descend on all of us, all Israel, upon a shattered world that we desperately hope to heal, upon all of us who still mourn our beloved dead, as together we say.
Amen.
Please remain standing and turn to 377. Our final song in honor of Veterans Day is America the Beautiful. We're going to sing verses 1, 2,
3,
1, 3, and 4. Thank you very much for that correction.
1, 3, 4.
1, 3,
4. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and a crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriotry that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and a crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Bruchim atem b'voachem, u'ruchim atem b'tzeitchem, me'atav ad olam. May you be blessed as you come into sacred space, and may you be blessed as you go out into our world. And as you go out, may you be blessed to shine light and grace on everyone around you. So together we say, Amen.
Wait. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei mizonot.
Amen.
Praise you, Adonai, God, ruler of all, who makes animal crackers and all kinds of good food that's out there. Together we say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.